All right, Mike Johnson, number 57 speaker, that speaker 119 that we saw since October last year when the Israel war started, and it turned into that 120, and that 20 win is before you now as that Gemini Trump on his second coming, and that Hakim, me, that's also the Jack, a hidden Jack. It's the Black Jack, the 21. So this is marking a time reference. We all know what happened in 2021. We're seeing an overlay of times, and we've been seeing an overlay of October, the first week of October 2023, and flips and flops and mirrors and such this week. And the Jeff Fries attaches to old MacDonald when he went to cook some French fries, and he said no human hands have touched them, that kind of thing. So for the eyes and ears people, the Jimmy Carter died. This is part of that ring bearer, all right? And we got the people who carry the coffins and such, and the embalming fluid, and then we're always shown how these so-called fluids on these bombs or whatever, it takes this fluid and that fluid mixed together or whatever. So we can see kind of some cross references here. And then Jimmy Carter is tied to that stagflation, and that stag is tied to the bucks. The Camp David Accords, the Accord, Honda Accord, the China chips, Taiwan, and the Yuan merchant for the day 10. That's part of the begotten and going to the cross and these other things, because we're seeing spiritual into carnal, and has been tracking the cross and the day of the Lord and all those things. You're going to get these things overlaying into our reality as the prophecy within the prophecy, and these things unfold and the vision unfolds and unlocks. So the Jimmy is also a reference to brickweed or Mexican brickweed, and the Mexicans has the sheeping tied to it too, but the Mexicans with the border, and then the brickweed is tied to the I'm having a brain fart, the UAE and Russia and China and such. The weed is tied to the tree of knowledge and the tree of life, and for the healing of nations is coming, or that's been here for the past the first day of the millennium, and we're going into the second day. So this is where also Israel has been doing that leading research in cannabis. So the relations with China is with Jimmy Carter as well. He was that peanut farmer. We saw that peanut squirrel. The Nicaraguan revolution and inauguration, Schwarzenegger. Okay, y'all can kind of work the words there a little bit and kind of figure out some things going on there, like Niger, Africa. Okay. But these things are all going to be unfolding in our world, and this is why Oprah is like this black queen over here. We got Martha Stewart, this white queen over here, and then all of Oprah's movies, they just feed that race card and division and all these things. So it's like poor me, poor us. Okay, we've all been slaves. They just made us to love our slavery, passed with whatever, with a bunch of bullshit and money. So the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan is tied to that. So we see that playing out here. That's part of that poppies and the okay, and the Huron. The Huron is right before you, Kamala, and whoever else they got lined up. Okay, the Speaker Mike, 52 years old. That's the 25 on the flip side for your, so he's 52, going to be 53. That's for your Christmas spirit. And 25, Elon's going to be 53, going to be 54. So, and 5 is a flip at 2. So that's a counterclockwise mechanism on the 54 for the 24. Okay, so we got the different clocks going together on there. So the Michael and that war in heaven with the devil's tied to Kamala Devi, and then if they decide to do some wonky thing or whatever, but also the devil is Elon Musk for the EV, electric vehicle. Okay, and the DE is the 45, so the 45 is for the Trump, and then Elon's gonna be 54 for the backside, so flip-flops. The Jimmy Carter died 100 years, 2 months, and 28 days. The 128 is tied to your peace deal. The 48 is tied to Don coming and taking his nation and such. There are 50 states in America. The 49 is the 36, which is the 666. So these are timestamps on there. And then the strategic arms limitation talks. This is tying into where you have this is like the young ruling the old in a way, but this is where the teenagers and such are coming and saying that they did a private study and they found this, and the this, that, and the other, and the things that we take and give our children pertaining to that thing that goes in the arm. But this is sending out an an earthquake in a way, and going to shake up some industries. And these are things that's been talked about for years or whatever, but it takes some kids coming in and changing things, and that's part of that Jesus spirit, that 13-year-old coming into that temple, and that 13 goes back to 13 years back, okay, because this is a part of a day opening up for the old time frame and to shake their temples and such and to get them into the new. But not to say that if they were done properly in a way or whatever, which we can probably see this done in the future, these things might help. But the way they're done now, it's for a test, but we need this test. We always need this kind of test in a way, but since we're at this pinnacle where all this tests are being gathered up and the info is being gathered up into one point, then we don't need any more tests per se, and then we're going to go into infinity and beyond, and then start the new heaven and earth, and that's where we're at now, and where the people are in the day 2, and the firmament's here. That firmament's connected to this phone. It's part of that glass that's put in heaven, and heaven is at hand, and the Father and I and the Father. So that's where the Lord is killed in Sodom, and the Nimrod is cast to the ground. All these other things that we're told about, okay? Because all these characters are living inside of you, and they're all going to be given birth in one way, shape, or form since the 2000s. And unfortunately, people are under the spell of the negativity, not the positivity at the moment, and that's what brings in these world changes and these quakes and weather and all these things, because this stuff is connected to us as we're the lampstands of this projection, okay? So all these things are working together to get us into this point. And then Jeffries is also 54, and the 55 takes you back to the future time frame for the 55, 85, and 2015 sequence, and then they go back to 1885, I think, also. Either way, and then he's born on Obama's birthday, so this is like that speaker blast being done that we saw days back. So if we are doing a little flip-floppy thing or whatever, the next few days we can see, like on the 6th and the 9th, the 10th, they got this whole month loaded down already, just like on the actors as far as the politicians. So either way, y'all, I gotta go chop some hair.